Okay, this video is called What I Want in a Woman, Divorce Update, November 2024. My current situation is that my wife kicked my son and me out of the house because she had an affair with a truck driver and she wants to move him into the house. The divorce papers are finalized and signed. I have to move out of my house in 2 weeks. I live in the Chicago area. A friend is arranging an apartment for me. Because I make about 5 times more money in a salary than my wife does, I totally got ripped off in the divorce settlement. So the bad news is, even though I paid the mortgage for 27 years, I get $0 in equity. That's zero. I lost a lot of money because of that. However, the good news is, because the kids are grown up and she works as a doctor and she's getting tons of money from equity, I don't have to pay any alimony. I'm completely separated from her in every way from this point on. My ex-wife, she doesn't have that bad. Just for perspective, last year she went to Europe 3 times, to Florida, for at least a week or 2 weeks at a time. Florida twice, Japan once for 3 weeks. I've only been on a plane once in the last 27 years. I don't like flying. I will do it if there's something really important, but I don't like to do it routinely. I'm willing to drive a long distance to see friends. I enjoy, social meetings and stuff. In an average month, I don't spend hardly any money. I usually buy about 12 books. Okay, I'm pretty academic and scholarly, obviously. I work full time as a clinical doctor. In my free time, what I do most of the time is, I come home, I lift weights, I make YouTube videos, I write books. I like seeing the family when they're around. I sort of feel like, it's a fun hobby. I'm fulfilling my destiny. I'm happy with that. Based on an extensive study of internet doctors in the medical literature, now that Dr. McDougall is dead, I believe I'm the best overall doctor in the world. Most of the famous ones that other people think are really good are actually sellouts, but the people are too stupid to realize that. Okay, what I want in a woman. I'm okay with never having a romantic relationship with a woman again. Currently, I don't even know a single available woman who's single and available, not a single one. There's lots of women at work. They like me, I like them, but they're all off limits. I would never date a woman from work. My ex-wife, she cost me millions of dollars. And, I was very grateful for the kids. We had 3 kids together. I wish we had more. I had fully expected we'd be married for life and have a bunch of kids, but she tied her tubes after the 3rd kid, and I was not happy about that. She was a bad wife. In general, women, from a man's point of view, they're very expensive and not worth the cost. Most marriages end in divorce filed by the woman. That's the usual outcome from a marriage. In my experience, most women are functional illiterates. I say that based on, even the great women. My mother is the greatest woman I ever met in my life. She never read a book. My wife never once opened a book in 27 years of marriage. Most of my female relatives never read. Most of the female doctors and other people I know, whenever I talk to them, they always say they have no time to read, no time to read. And I know they have obligations. A woman quite often is working full time and then has to take care of her kids, and she really doesn't have much time. But like I said, you can always read in your car, listen to audiobooks, and read in the bathroom. But I know most of them, they just don't want to. Okay, fine. But what that also means is they don't have anything for conversation as far as books are concerned. Okay, and I will even jokingly say, the definition of a mental retard is, compared to an average IQ of 100, that a mental retard has an IQ of 70. So a 30 IQ point difference. Okay, and I'd say, compared to me, my wife is a double mental retard. I got an academic IQ of about 170. Her academic IQ is about 110. Okay, so, we never have anything academic in conversation. Zero, none. She can't even put together one coherent paragraph, yet alone have a conversation about anything academic. So, not to be mean, but the point I'm making is, people say a relationship's 50-50. No, it's not. It's never 50-50. Nothing is 50-50. It's always a trade-off. One person's good at one thing, the other person's good at something else. So for me in relationships, I'm always the academic, scholarly person. The woman is always the social person, and I'll just give you perspective. I dated a girl who graduated second in her medical school class. I wrote all her research papers for her. Okay, but on the other hand, women are much better than men, especially better than me, at social stuff. My father, for example, never once made a social phone call in all the many decades that I knew him. My mom had all the phone numbers of his friends and would call them up to invite them over whenever there was a social event at our house. And that worked out quite well. I didn't even own a cell phone for the last 10 years. I just had to get one because of this divorce stuff. So I'm quite used to, just being absorbed in my thoughts and not that socially occupied. So it's nice for a woman to do that. Women are better at a lot of things than men. They're much better at social stuff. They're socially graceful. They pay attention to all kinds of mundane stuff we don't care about. They're good at cooking, cleaning the house, babysitting, arranging social events, managing a property. Like the typical way we always handled any problem in the house, like if the refrigerator broke, the dishwasher, the dryer, whatever. I would buy a new one. I would pay for it, but she would arrange everything in terms of having it installed in the house and that sort of thing. Um, let's see, what else? Um, my ex-wife was very beautiful when I married her. She's like a perfect 10 in beauty, the prettiest woman in the whole hospital. I never cheated on her, but I have not slept with her for the last 10 years, and that's because she became very fat, and then she eats fried meat every day, and that makes her smell bad, and she snores really loud like an elephant, and she always has one or two dogs in the bed, so I worry about fleas in the bed. I find it all disgusting. So I stopped sleeping with her 10 years ago, and I have not slept with her since. I never cheated on her. I kind of had said, well, I'm obligated to support her. She's my wife and so the mother of my kids. And, I guess I'm done with all this romance stuff. Like a lot of scholars, they just, go join a monastery or something when they get older. Um, I was very popular when I was young. I was a great athlete. I was a superstar athlete. Stanford University is the best student athlete university in the whole world. Okay, I was student athlete of the year at Stanford. Set all-time record for victories in wrestling was my sport. And I was a superstar, medical student, doctor. All my girlfriends were really pretty. And my wife, nothing. And so let's see, what else? Also, men can't fake it. We're either attracted to a woman or we're not. Okay, and most women, they're nice, but they're not that attractive in my experience. Okay, what I like in women. They're fun to talk to because they see the world differently. They're fun to watch movies with. They're fun to go for walks. Um, I like them to sort of like run everything social. That way I'm freed up to work and make money and also freed up to do my intellectual work with writing books and this. If a woman is premenopausal, like let's say she's in the ballpark of 38 to 42 years old, and she wants to have a child, that's sort of like the big event in life. Those are like some of the happiest days of my whole life is when I was married and the kids were young. I love those days, okay? It was a joyous time. And it's a really unique time. I'd be willing to work extra to support that. But I realize that's probably not going to happen. Usually a younger woman wants a guy closer to her own age, and going with me would be sort of like buying, an older Rolls Royce rather than, her, probably going to be the young Toyota, if you will, whatever. But, I'm 60 years old. I'm totally physically fit and healthy. I don't take any medicines. I'm all muscle. I weigh 160 pounds. Same as I weighed, in high school. In college, I was bigger, more muscular, but basically, I'm real skinny and healthy. Um, as far as if she's postmenopausal, the real question would be what would keep us together? Okay, I live in the Chicago area. If she had a house, I would like that because right now I'm headed towards moving to a little crappy apartment with F minus water, and I don't want that. Um, if she had a house, then I would have a place to live. So I would like that. If she had something in common with me. Obviously, the reason why I'm kind of doing this through my YouTube channel, even though I don't expect to meet anybody, it's worth a try. And she'll at least know me a little, know what she's getting into. You don't have to waste so much time. In high school, you knew everybody. One person breaks up, there's lots of other fish in the sea. But in the outside world, it's like, what do you have in common that will make you enjoy being together and staying together? Um, so, anyways, that's a possibility. Because I would really like to have more time. If she's wealthy and has a house and I could do more time with research and I could work part time, that's what I would want. Okay. As far as like a woman being attractive, she has to be thin. She has to be nice. No tattoos. I think tattoos are disgusting. It makes a woman look like a prostitute. Maybe if she had just a little tiny one and she got all her hepatitis tests or something, but I think it's disgusting. I don't like it when a woman's fat. It's just so unattractive. It looks like she's pregnant, and then you just think that she's carrying some other guy's baby, and you're like, I got to support the other guy's baby. You don't want to do that. And she's lost her shape like a grandma, So it's sort of like, we don't like that, all right? If a woman wants to consider dating me, and I realize this is a long shot and probably nothing will come out of it, but here it is. She can send me an email at rogersmd@protonmail.com. That's rogersmd@protonmail.com. With a picture, preferably with a picture. I realize you might not be able to send a picture with your email, but if you can, that's preferable, obviously, so I know who you are, and a brief note about herself. And maybe I'll respond, maybe I won't, but if you're interested, there it is. So